But truly, Renaissance Shooting, all is well and all is in divine order. Now, I'm going to challenge your thinking today because when I say all is well and all is in divine order, there's always a couple of people who want to throw it in the wind, throw away their responsibility, and they want to say God as though it's existential, distant from them, not within them. This morning, I'm concerned because we're reaching that tipping point in the year, the New Year's resolution point. 3 weeks it takes to create a new habit, 21 days, and we're at day 18. And already we start to see people moving in a different direction from the spirit and the energy and the sight that they had when the new year came in. And so I want to challenge us this morning to stay on that horse, stay on that bull, and ride it. Can you say with me, I'm going to ride that bull? And so I want you to join with me in an affirmation. And you guys know I'm not big on affirmations. But I think what we're going to do today is challenge ourselves to a new level. And so I may come back to this affirmation as the closing affirmation. So don't be surprised, because when we go through this affirmation right now, it will sound good, and you'll say it with high energy, but you won't know the meaning until the end of the message. Is that fair enough? So repeat after me. I am bold. I am brave. I am a beautiful garden. I am enough. And there is more to be explored and discovered in me. With faith, love, imagination, and persistence, I attract miracles, manifest greatness, and move boldly into my divine destiny. You may be seated. You know, I want to paint a picture for you. Imagine yourself in a wide open field. You're running. You're chasing butterflies and bees. You're flabbergasted that you keep chasing them and your legs become tired. You start to sweat and you catch the butterfly. I don't know about you, but when I was young, we used to get these mason jars and pickle jars, mayonnaise jars. And we see butterflies, and we start chasing after butterflies. Anybody remember that? Now, if that sounds familiar, how familiar is it for us to be chasing the approval of others? Chasing achievements, chasing affection. Now, the thing about catching butterflies, we just caught them. Right? We really didn't have a plan for what we do when we catch the butterflies, but they were in the jar. Anybody ever catch a butterfly and you didn't have a plan? I put the lid on the jar, and the butterfly is just in there. And the butterfly is just in there doing like this. What do you think that butterfly is thinking? I don't belong in this jar. I'm not meant to be in this jar. And I need oxygen. See, sometimes we used to forget to punch holes in the lid. And so the butterfly would just be flying around, and it was beautiful. And maybe it was the beauty of the butterfly that attracted us to the butterfly, and that we wanted to capture this butterfly in the jar. But we really didn't have a plan after we made the capture of the butterfly in the jar. We just wanted to catch the butterfly. Now, if you think about that, have you ever felt trapped in a space, feeling like you're in a jar, not enough oxygen to allow you to just live at your highest potential? But there you are, captured. And I imagine, just like that butterfly, in that scenario, in that situation, you're thinking, I have a greater purpose than to be in this jar. I bet that butterfly is just like you thinking, I need a blessing. I need a breakthrough. I need to get out this jar so I can soar to a higher level. Here's the truth. Too many of us are trapped in situations that limit us. We're trapped in jars that don't provide us enough air to really and truly live out our destiny, to live out our creed. We're gardens. We're supposed to cultivate life. Life comes from the inner being, the inner spirit that lives within us. Set the butterfly free. Can you say that with me? Set the butterfly free. So if we're in this situation, this scenario where we feel like we're locked up, caged up in a jar, what has happened to us? What's happened to us? This thing called persona. Can we say persona? Persona. It develops and it shapes the way we think and feel, but so many times the persona is crafted from a space of fear and doubt. And we think that we could fall and fail to the judgment of other people. When does this start, this persona development? It starts with our parents, doesn't it? Be careful. The world is dangerous. Don't get too confident. Pride comes before a fall. Stop climbing up there. You might fall and break your neck. Get down from there. Stop. Just follow the rules. Stay in line. Don't talk too loud. So many times people tell me, Reverend Wilmer, don't talk so loud. Be quiet. And for them, they're worried about the attraction that happens when you talk loudly, when you talk like you have a vision for living at a higher level, but it's so distant from the norm that people say, people don't want to hear that just yet. And teachers tell you all the time, play by the rules. And we constantly hear, just do as I tell you to do. How many people have heard that? Don't draw too much attention to yourself. Maybe that's not your strength, and so you should give up and quit. Or friends tell you, who do you think you are to want to be different from us? Play it cool, calm, and collected. You're not ready for something bigger. Don't rock the boat. All those phrases I've heard throughout my life, and I still hear them. Then it becomes a time where you have to make a decision to stand up, to stand out, or stand above. Then ride this teeter-totter ride, this bull that says, don't try, because it could be too risky. What will people think if you fail? What will they say if in the midst of a crowd you misspeak, you misstep, and there you are, embarrassed? Don't take the risk. Stay small. Stay in the jar. Stay in the box. But how do we break free from this lesser me? When I know I'm not up to my power, my potential, my purpose, how do I break away from feeling like I know there's something more that I want, but I need to break free from the lesser me? See, what this reveals is a tension, a spiritual tension. Anybody know about this tension that I'm speaking about? There's this tension that comes about when it's the I am, which is the infinite intelligence. The I am and the lesser you, which is probably the everyday you holding back. The I am. The I am that's the creative force, the creative energy within you that fuels you. That I am that keeps telling you that it's okay to keep moving forward, keep climbing that mountain. That I am voice within you that keeps on putting itself in front of who you are and saying, come forward, there's more of you to give. The lesser persona, though, is conditioned. It's conditioned to stay in alignment with the lesser you. And there you have it, the frustration, the tension of life. And then you come to this interactive moment in life where you have to have a discussion between the I am and the lesser you. And it says, the lesser me must step aside. I'm stepping into my full potential. I'm aligning with the I am that is the I am that I'm intended to be. This reminds me of a passage in the Bible, 2 Kings, chapter 4, verse 1 through 7. There's a discussion between the prophet Elijah and a widow. This widow isn't given a name. How dare a person mention a conversation and only give one person a name? Don't you think that's disrespectful? Elijah and a woman with oil. That's all it says. And in this conversation, you see the prophet Elijah asking this woman who comes up to him, who's poverty-stricken because she's a widow with 2 sons. And because she's facing poverty, she can't feed her kids, she's in debt. She decides to approach this prophet, Elijah. In essence, she's saying, how can you help me? I need help. You ever get to the point where you wanted to scream out in desperation, I need help? I don't know about you, but there's so many times where I have to scream and holler, I need help. And nothing less will do. And so they're in this situation where she approaches the prophet Elijah, and she says, I need help. And he asked the question, what do you have in your house? What do you have in your house? And she says, nothing except a small jar of oil. Think about that. Of all the things that this prophet, who has performed miracles, provided for the poor, he asks, what do you have in your house? And she responds, nothing except a small jar of oil. Just let that marinate with you. What do you have in your house? Now, I want us to think about this. I want us to break this down. What do you have in your house? The widow's house represents her consciousness, the seat of her creative power. Why is this important? Why is the consciousness of the house important? If the house is consciousness, the house has to be the inner me. What do I think I have in my possession in the inner me, inside of me, that could be enough to sustain me? The prophet Elisha is saying there's something inside of you that's greater than what you are realizing. And so in that moment, the small jar of oil symbolizes the hidden gifts that we underestimate. the hidden gems, the hidden talents that we have. Think about this. What's in your house this morning that you're underestimating? What is it about you that's better than what you're allowing to be revealed, to be demonstrated? That's the challenge, the opportunity to understand that this is a small jar of oil, but it's valuable. And you're underestimating what's inside of you. And so what does the prophet Elijah tell her to do? Go and collect some jars. Where are your 2 sons? Have them help you. A collective consciousness is being developed there. Not just you, widow, but get your 2 sons. Get them to go around and borrow some jars. And what I want you to do when you collect these jars, Reverend Wilma, is I want you to take that jar of oil that you have and start pouring it. Pouring it into each one of those jars. Just keep going. Don't look in the jar, just keep pouring. Keep pouring out what's inside. Keep pouring out what's inside. And you'll understand at the end that every jar was filled. What's the lesson here? What's the lesson? We're unlimited. We're unlimited. Only thing you have to realize is when I start pouring out myself, there's more to give. The provision is there. All I have to do is keep on with the main vision. The provision is there. I have the vision, so the provision is there. I have the vision, so the provision is there. And I never look inside that jar because I assume the provision is there as long as I have the vision. And so we started out this year. What do you want to manifest? What do you want to bring into fruition? What do you want to make real in your life? What is it? What is it? Without limits, without lack, I've determined that I want something greater. Greater is me than what I see in the world. What's inside of me is greater. And so we see this pouring out in here. This is what I want you to take away from this message, Reverend Wilma. The oil is inside of you. It's ready to flow. But sometimes you got to stop chasing butterflies. Stop chasing the blessing. Stop chasing the breakthrough and know that you're not supposed to chase, you're supposed to create. Can you say, I'm stopping the chase? I'm ready to create. I'm stopping the chase. I'm ready to create. And so what we have in here, Leah, it's a situation where we have to flip the script. You ever heard that saying? Flip the switch. And script 2, we just decide, now's the time that I'm going to make a flip. What do we do when we flip? We turn it over. Exactly. You're the smartest teacher in the room because you said that. Turn it over. If something is not working and you're moving in one direction, what do you need to do? Change directions. Not keep going ahead. If I'm going on a one-way street and the sign says dead end, do I keep going thinking that that dead end is not going to be a dead end, or do I go in a different direction? Well, why are we staying on the dead end street for too long? And the dead end street is when we find ourselves moving in the same direction, doing the same thing, expecting different results. And that is insanity. Insanity. And so the flip. What is the flip? The flip is a spiritual tool for transformation. Have you ever heard of the flip? You heard of the flip? Where'd you hear it from? Flip, faith. And we've been talking about faith. We've been talking about faith. But we do it so many times in an esoteric way. But what is faith? Faith is simply, I believe what I believe, and when I believe what I believe, I take action on what I believe. We understand that? Repeat it with me. Faith is when I believe what I believe, and when I believe what I believe, I take action on what I believe. And that's faith. And so with that, we realize there is a divine process. Miracles come from a process. Miracles are not manifest because you decide I'm going to pray today and wait. Faith, based on the process, is what makes you see that that small jar of oil that you've overlooked has enough for everything you need. Charles Fillmore reminds us there is a divine law of demand and supply. And when we make a demand on this law with faith and persistence, supply is always forthcoming. So say this with me. Faith is the foundation of my foundation. And then the second part of flip is love. Love yourself. You cannot effectively, impactfully love anyone else until you love yourself. And so we start off with the idea love opens us up to creativity, to compassion, and confidence. Once I know who I am and whose I am, I can move boldly and confidently to the next step and the next step. So love is where I know I'm worthy of transformation. Can you say with me, I am worthy of transformation? And if you have faith and love, then you move into imagination. This is where we stop. We look. We listen. But then we decide I'm going to take it all in and I'm going to form my own dream. What's my ideal world? Who do I want to be at this point in my life, this stage, this age of my life? If I'm waking up this morning, there's an opportunity for a transformation. And with that opportunity, I seize the moment. I seize the day. And I know it has to be with the imagination, the visualization of what does it look like for me to catch the butterfly, for me to catch the blessing, for me to catch the breakthrough. For me, what does it look like if I imagine, if I image myself into something different? What if I imagine myself limitless? What if I imagine myself slim again? What if I imagine myself prosperous? See, these are things that I've imagined myself to be. Last year, I imagined myself slimmer. All of my friends were running around drinking beer at the local bar, and I see them because I'm in a fraternity, and my fraternity, we like to drink. And some of them like to, y'all know what that is, right? How y'all know what that is the question. But they're sitting around talking about the war stories of getting old. And the way they talk about it is from getting old and being helpless, hindered by what I think I can't do. But I said to myself, I want to be slim, fit, and trim. Now, what do I have to give up to do that? That's the question. I don't drink beer. But I eat some things that I shouldn't eat, and so I have to eliminate those things in a passion, in a spirit of love, of self. Imagination. Imagine yourself to be at the next level. Imagine yourself to have what you really want to have. Let that be your goal. And then comes persistence. Persistence. If you dial my cell phone number, you'll hear my message. And what does it say, Brett? Start this day and finish this day with passion, purpose, and persistence. Can you say that with passion, with purpose, and persistence. Can you stand up and say that? Because that means so much to me. When you get this, you get life. Start this day and finish this day with passion, purpose, and persistence. Now put a little movement in the gyration, you know, the 70s and 80s dance style. Can you do that with me, Leah? Come on, let's go. Start and finish this day with passion, purpose, and persistence. Come on, Brett. You're not one of the Bee Gees. Give me more movement. Start and finish this day with passion, purpose, persistence. Those are the three things that I pursue every day. You may be seated. Passion, purpose, persistence. I won't stop until I see the miracle. I won't stop until I see the manifestation. I won't stop and see the moment is here. I see the moment present. Greater things are destined for me. I know the plans you have for me, plans to prosper me. I won't stop until I see the prosperity. I won't stop until I see the good health. I won't stop until I see myself standing on top of that mountain, sticking out my chest, Reverend Wilma, and saying how I got over, how I got up, how I got high. That's the moment. So can you say this with me? I won't stop until I see the miracle. I won't stop until I see the manifestation. I won't stop until I see the moment where the magic appears. There's this poem by Sage, and I read it, and it just simply reminds me constantly that I am enough, that there is oil in my little jar. And in my little jar, when I begin to pour out, it's always enough. And that poem says, I am enough by Sage. I am enough. Just as I stand. A masterpiece formed by God's own hand. No fear can bind. No doubt can stay. The I am within lights my way. The oil I pour, the gifts I bring will multiply and blessings will spring. I am enough, bold and free, moving in faith toward my destiny. I want you to turn to your neighbor and just say, I am enough. Everything is inside of you that you need. That widow was asked a simple question. What's in your house? I think it's a commercial that says, what's in your wallet? But the capital one, it is the oneness. And it's that oneness that keeps us stepping out on faith, knowing that I am loved, knowing that I'm purposed for something greater. I use my imagination to stretch myself, and I become persistent. I won't quit. Dr. King had a dream. That dream spoke to a freedom, a unification of all kind of people, all kind of personalities. But in essence, he was saying, we can't come together until we know ourselves. Dr. King said, I understand why our collective energy is so strong, because when we're collective, we collide in thought. But in one of his books, while he was in jail, he said, as they were hitting me with billy clubs, and I tried to block it, I realized that I was bleeding, and I saw the red on my fingers. And it was at that point that I realized the blood that I was shedding was needed and necessary. So if I have to die for the cause, I will. And he went on to say that I realized that dying in this form, in this physical place, won't cause the death of me. And so if you read further into his book, he said that in that thing that we call the physical death, there's eternal life. And the fight will move on and on and on. And so today we come in a spirit of letting freedom ring from the highest mountaintop. And let ourselves reach the point where we feel free, knowing that we're here to be divine expressions of faith, of love, of imagination, of persistence. And so with that knowing, we don't have to chase butterflies. We don't have to chase blessings. We don't have to chase breakthroughs. Truth of the matter is that we really are beautiful gardens. And if you know anything about a beautiful garden, you know that when it's beautiful, it's all different colors and hues. And there's this aroma, this sweet aroma that just attracts things. And so in that spirit of being a garden, we attract everything that we want. The butterflies, the blessings, and the breakthroughs come to us. We no longer have to be on the chase. And so I ask you this morning, what's inside your house? Reveal it. It's sweet. It's an aroma that will attract everything that you want. Can we do an affirmation? But just sit. Sit in that space of, I no longer have to chase. Just going to attract. Repeat with me. I am bold. I am brave. I am a magnet for butterflies, for blessings, and for breakthroughs. I am flipping the script of my life, aligning with faith, love, imagination, and persistence. My gifts overflow my potential expands. And I step boldly into my divine destiny. Renaissance Student, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it but accept my love and know that it's true. It's near, and it's always available for you to tap into and know that you're not in the chase. You're creating a greater you. Thanks for having me this morning.